everybody. It's Thursday night, December 9th, and this is Guitar Town Hall with me, David NESDALL, and as always, my partner, Ben Coombs. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing great, Dave. Although, snow pretty much every day this week, so there's that to deal with. But hey, that's what we have. Why I'm in the great white north, because it's great, and it's definitely white. But man, I am looking forward to this. I was being a little quiet pre-show because I wasn't going to mention things that I wanted to mention on air. But this guy up here is the reason that I got into chicken picking, using more than just these two fingers on the guitar. Start incorporating stuff, and he turned me on to people like Merle Travis. My dad had talked about Merle Travis for years. So I'm like, whatever, old man. Whatever. And then all of a sudden, Johnny's like, check out Merle Travis. I said, okay. And so the one and only Johnny HILAND is here. Welcome back, Johnny. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me back, brother. Appreciate it, boys.
Yeah, how you been?
I have been fantassimo, man. Life is great.
That's awesome.
Kimmy and I moved up to Chatham, Virginia back in December of 2018, and man, I was scared to death leaving Music City, USA and moving to a small town like Mayberry. But I must say, boys, the good Lord's been looking out for me because my career has just been like, it's just been crazy.
That's awesome.
So, life is good.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Great to hear.
Well,
Great to hear.
Johnny, I have to be honest with everybody here. You and I speak probably at least once a week, and I watch your Facebook Live every Sunday religiously. So this is like old hat between me and you. We are in touch with each other more than most people. So
yes, brother, I'll tell you, Dave, you've been a dear friend for a long time, buddy, and I always love to hear from you and catch up and find out what guitars you're doing and playing and all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. Well,
and our pedal talks, man. I love our pedal talks.
Absolutely, and we'll get into some of that tonight.
Did you say pedals?
Yeah.
I like pedals. I like pedals.
Yeah. Ben is like the premier pedal guy. He's the pedal guy. So, in fact, I think that should be your name, the pedal guy.
But people think I'd be on that pedal show, and Dan and Mick would get jealous. It's not easy being me though. But I'll just continue on, and fly under the radar as it will, and continue to search for that perfect tone. I know it's out there, and I figure it's that last pedal in the world, and I just haven't got there yet. It's kind of like the internet; they keep adding on to it.
Boys, you know what? I need to grab something real quick now that we've even started talking about this, because I came across something tonight that I forgot I had back when I played with Don Kelly in Nashville years and years ago. But I got to show it to you because it's bad to the bone. I'll be right back.
You got it. Johnny HILAND, everybody. This is pretty big.
And hello to everybody in the chat tuning in.
Oh, hang on,
boys.
Let me just get you on the alone thing here. Hang on. There you go.
Oh, the OG.
Yeah, CS1. Wow.
The old CS1.
Wow, nice.
That pedal has been with me for a very, very long time, boys. I'll tell you what, I, of course, ended up with a CS2 and a CS3 and then moved on from the Boss stuff, but still really proud to own this old pedal, man. It's been with me well over 25 years.
Beautiful. I think I've had my CS2 for about as long.
Yeah,
I found a CS2 in a pawn shop, and I was like, I don't need one.
Broke off it.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got the toggle fixed on that, right, Johnny?
Say what?
You got the toggle fixed on that, or is that the original toggle?
Yes, actually, my dear friend, Mr. Forrest Lee Jr. gave me that pedal back years ago, and when he gave it to me, the switch was broken off, and he said, brother, I'm going to get the parts and fix that for you, and he did, so.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's so cool. Hey, before we go any further, Ben, why don't we say hello to everyone in the chat?
Let's do that. I'm going to start from the bottom here, and I want to welcome in Dan of New Jersey, Guitar Man 45, Keith Campbell, Thomas Santiago, Leo Safko, Desiree NESDALL, always a pleasure, Let's see. Janice Lala is here. Kurt 5150. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Paulina Stevenson. Welcome, Paulina. Billy Baloney made it. D. Ricky. Unbelievable. He says Highland's a monster player. I agree.
Thank you so much.
Charles 75N, who just finished putting together a Telecaster of his own, a parts caster, put up a video last night or today. I think that came out, and he's working while lurking. Perfect.
Wow.
Frank's here. Fruitcake Tony's here. Papa Blue. Hip Metalworks, fellow Canadian. Gear Junkie 35, not a fellow Canadian. David Scher. Let's see. And Randy Crooks is here. Randy Crooks just picked up a new guitar. New to him, a Hofner Verithin CT this morning.
Oh, that's very
Wow.
cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Music Therapy Labs is heading home right now from work, but he's listening in. Awesome. Tim Thomas made it as well. Bruce Brooks is here.
Yeah, Bruce Brooks is from Long Island, New York. That's where I'm at right now. Bruce,
Nice.
where in Long Island are you?
Muddy Waters or Muddy H2O,
Muddy
depending on who you talk to.
Yes. Janice Lala is here across the sound. Very cool. Very cool. So Johnny, all right, we'll say hello to more people as they come in. We got 33 people watching us right now.
Nice.
Bruce says he's from Hewlett. I know exactly where that is. That's down in the 5 towns. Very cool. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you do, put it in the comments, and we will get together, you and I, somehow, where I can get one of my Guitar Town Hall guitar picks to you. It has the Guitar Town Hall on it, and on the other side, it has my name on it. So if you're a new subscriber, again, just say hello to me in the comments right down below. Tell me you just subscribed, and I'll get out a guitar pick to you. Somehow.
Because everybody can use an extra pick or two.
Yeah, why not? They're all collector's items. I mean, I also have some of these old ones that say that other name that we had.
Collectibles.
Yes, collectibles. You know, if you're nice to me, maybe I'll send you 1 or 1,000 of those.
Speaking of picks, what are you using for a pick these days, Johnny?
Actually, I'm using a Fred Kelly slick pick, man. A couple of years back, I ended up having some hand issues, and it stopped me from using my Johnny Highland V pick and made me move to a thumb pick. And most people would say, "Oh man, dude, that's such a bad thing, man." But for me, I'm kind of like, well, I've always loved Merle Travis. I've always loved Chet. I've always loved, all those thumb pickers. So yes, nowadays I use a good old Fred Kelly slick pick.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Real quick, everyone in the chat, just so you don't feel left out, if you are already subscribed to the channel and you want one or a couple or a handful of my picks, just get with me on Facebook Messenger or whatever your best social media way to get in touch with me. I'll send you my address. Just send me a self-addressed and stamped envelope, and I'll throw a bunch in the envelope and send it out to you. Since I do pay for these guitar picks, it would not be cost effective for me to be paying for stamps and to send it to you. So if you want some picks, I'm happy to send them. Just send a self-addressed and stamped envelope to me, and I'll be happy to get them out to you. So no one is not getting any picks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So Johnny, I know that we were looking to see a new guitar from you today, and it's not finished yet. But are you allowed to talk about it at all?
Oh, I'm sure I am, brother. I'm really, really excited because Kiesel Guitars, just about a month ago, Jeff Kiesel came on alive and announced that he was doing the new Retro Solo, which is essentially a traditional style T-style guitar, Tele style. And I'm going to be doing the video for them on that guitar, and I cannot wait to get that guitar in. I'm just really thrilled that Jeff is now doing the 3-barrel style, old school, Telecaster style guitar. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And most of the Kiesel fans out there know that Kiesel started out years ago with the Bolt Classic, which was their Strat, which actually, I'll show you guys mine because I have one. This is actually the Bolt Classic right here.
Ooh, yeah.
That's very pretty. Man, I love that bodywood.
Fingerboard. It's a mahogany body,
Mm-hmm.
and of course it has an ebony fingerboard with big old white diamond inlay.
Love it.
And it's got the old school style headstock. But what I love about this guitar is it's a hardtail, no tremolo.
Ooh.
And it also has a 5-piece neck. It's got the maple and black limba.
Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful neck. It really is. And of course, most people ask me, they're like, well, man, do the 5-piece necks actually go all the way? Are they actually 5 pieces? And I say, yes, of course. Because if you look at the end of the headstock, see if I can hold the guitar out where you can see it.
Yeah.
They go right through it.
That?
Oh, yeah, they go right through. Yep.
They go right through all the way. So, yep, they sure do indeed. Kimmy Highland, are you close?
Very cool.
She's not close.
Hey, Magic Man.
Guitar
He
Man
said,
45
please
here.
tell these people Kiesel make awesome guitars. That's right. Magic Man, bought his first Kiesel a couple of weeks ago and already has a second on order.
Fantastic, man. Welcome to the family, brother. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so proud for you, brother. And I will tell you, honestly, from my own perspective, you will not buy just one Kiesel. Even being a level A endorser with Kiesel, I still buy guitars from Kiesel because I just love their guitars so much that Dave knows I can't stop buying them. And in fact, I will share a small story with you guys. Just this past probably 4 months ago, I had a little Pomeranian named Buddy, which a lot of you saw on the video for Loud and Proud, and he's been in a lot of videos with me over the years, but he passed away after 15 years. And I was telling Dave earlier, it's like losing a son because Kimmy and I didn't have children because I was on the road all the time and she was working, 40, 50 hours a week. And to be honest with you, our dogs, Buddy and Ella's a little Dachshund Jack Russell mix, but they were like our children. So when we lost Buddy about 3 or 4 months ago, I was absolutely devastated and happened to buy my newest Kiesel just by seeing a picture on their website and was praying that guitar would come up for sale on the in-stock page on kieselguitars.com. And by Buddy died on a Saturday, and by Monday, the guitar came on the in-stock page, and I had to buy it. So after I showed you guys the Bolt Classic, now I'll show you the brand new, improved Kiesel Delos.
Yeah.
I think the Delos is one of the ones that Magic Man bought. This is awesome.
This is
so
a
this
gorgeous
guitar
guitar.
Dave has already seen, and a lot of you have seen it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Delos.
Ooh.
And it is ridiculous. That guitar is gorgeous.
That is beautiful.
And it does have the Kiesel trem on it. That's made by Hipshot, and actually has a maple neck with real mother of pearl inlays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's got the new GT headstock, which is really neat. And
boy, I'd like to see Kiesel with that headstock on all their guitars. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty cool one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously you guys can see this one has the Kiesel trim. So of course on the back you actually have the plate,
Yep.
Sure.
But it's got the newer neck cutaway on it, the neck carve, which makes it really easy to access up higher on the fretboard. And I got to be honest, Dave, I didn't think I would like a Strat style with 2 humbuckers, but these are the Kiesel Berylliums.
Yeah.
And folks, I got to tell you, this Delos absolutely screams. It is a beast of a guitar, and you will hear it on the new Chatham Sessions 2 record for sure.
Awesome.
She is a
So-
sweetheart.
Our buddy Guitar Man 45.
Oh, Dave just took himself out. He'll be back. Dave has a tendency to do that on these shows. He goes to highlight a comment and kicks himself out of the show instead. Sure.
Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, look, Dave's back. Yeah, it happens.
Dave, that's something that the blind guy's supposed to do, man.
Well, it's hard when you're trying to maneuver the mouse pad with this finger. Did you read it, Ben, when I was trying to...
It says, Guitar Man 45 says, have 2 orders from Kiesel, Aries neck through, and a retro solo. Have many, many carving guitars, buying since 1978.
Yes.
And hello to
Man,
both
that
of
is
you.
phenomenal, brother. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's a
Mark
couple-
Robinson. Hello and welcome. He says, I have a Kiesel K series that Jeff Kiesel made for a NAMM showcase guitar, but he let me buy it before it went to NAMM. Awesome guitar.
Fantastic, brother. That's amazing. I'm glad to meet some Kiesel family members on here, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. There's
Actually,
you'll
boys, I
feel
do
a lot.
have a Kiesel. I do have a Jeff Kiesel NAMM guitar as well that I had to get. I'll show it to you if you'd like. It's an
Sure.
Aries.
Sure. We're never going to say no, Johnny.
Well,
Yeah.
I must say, Dave, you've seen this one before, brother, but she is absolutely gorgeous. So here is my
Oh,
Aries.
wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. That guitar is crazy.
Yeah, the top on this guitar is a chevron maple, and
That's
it's
ridiculous.
got a koa back and sides, which I'll show you.
Oh.
And this is actually an African zebra wood control plate on the back of this. It's got a 5-piece neck, walnut and maple, and it's got an African zebra wood fretboard, and it actually has loom inlays for the diamonds on the front. So if I put it in the light and was to shut this light off, these would glow blue.
Wow.
Oh,
And then, of
wow.
course, it's got the matching headstock. It's got the gold EVO frets in it, all gold hardware, hip shot Kiesel trim, but it also has a piezo pickup in it, so you can do acoustic stuff on this.
Oh.
But this was actually made for a NAMM show as well, and then they put it on the in stock, and when I saw it, I said, Jeff, he was actually just taking me out to the factory for the very first time, and I said, brother, you got one guitar there that I have to see and play. And he said, well, what is it, brother? I said, I think you built it for a NAMM show. It's an Aries, but it's got a real figured, beautiful top on it. And so when he come bringing this out, man, I said, Jeff, this has got to become mine. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is gorgeous.
My God.
Yep, she's a sweetheart for sure.
I got to say, Desiree, do you mind if I buy a new guitar?
I'll second that. Desiree, do you mind if Dave buys a new guitar? And hello to Josh Evans.
Johnny, I might need your pull to get me one of those. I don't mind paying full price, but I got to have it as good looking as that one.
I'm sorry, Dave. What'd you say, brother?
I said I might need your pull to get one of those. I don't mind paying full price, but it's got to look as good as that one.
Brother, you know what? I'll send you a picture of mine, and we'll call Kiesel together whenever you're ready.
I love it.
That
Desiree
is one
said,
sweet
"Sure,
guitar,
babe."
though. It really is.
Desiree said, "Sure, babe. That one is gorgeous. I'm sorry, I'm going to delay in a bedroom."
All right. So
I have to
timestamp
say-
8:21 p.m. December the 9th. Desiree approves
That's
acquisition.
right.
Des, you rock, bro.
I just got the okay to become a Kiesel friend.
Nice.
Nice.
And what is that? That's an Aries?
That's an Aries. Yep.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, that's right up my alley. Hum single hum.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous thing.
Well, actually, Dave, I'm not going to lie, brother. I thought of you when I got that guitar. I said, man, brother Dave would go nuts over that one.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can loan that to me anytime you want, my friend. No, I'm gonna buy my own. I don't want yours. I want my own.
Well, I'll tell you, it's hard for me to let go of mine, man. I play it so much.
Good. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you
Yes.
don't just play T-style guitars. I'm glad you play all different things. And you know what? you can tell that you play all of your guitars because you can hear it in your music.
Yeah, man, I really, as a session guitar player and as an artist, brother, yeah, I need an array of guitars that do different things for me. And I think the thing about Kiesel that I love, and I actually tell people this too, even with my Johnny Highland model, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I've got 3 or 4 Johnny models, and when I switch colors, it makes me play different. It's the same exact guitar. It's the same exact guitar, but the different color makes me play differently.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Obviously, your guitars, even though they're made on a CNC machine, there is a certain amount of hands touching them and sanding them, correctly?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, do you have one builder that builds your guitars, or does anyone that works there just build your guitars?
I'll be honest, brother, anybody that works in that Kiesel factory are all family to me, and I trust every one of them. I mean, they're all amazing players, all amazing people, and they know what they're doing, for sure.
Okay, so that being said, every one of your guitars may feel the tiniest bit different because of whoever's sanding it that day.
That's true. That's very true.
So it's like every guitar has the tiniest difference, maybe or maybe not. I mean, you have 4 of them, so maybe at least 2 of them are.
Honestly, Dave, I have to say though, brother, the consistency with Kiesel is unbelievable. My Johnny models feel as close. It's just remarkable. I can't really explain it to you because, you know, when you were younger, I know for me, when I was younger, I would go to music stores and play 10 of the same guitar in different colors, but one of them would stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Every Kiesel that I own, man, they all play like creamy butter. They're all just, and from what I understand, man, the CNCs that Kiesel uses, I mean, it's like within 1/10,000th. I mean, so every guitar is really as consistent as they possibly can be. So I guess that's really, I say that in true honesty because sometimes you'll see a Kiesel artist go to a NAMM show, grab a guitar right off the wall and play it of their signature model because it feels the same.
That's
and they
amazing.
don't have any issue playing it because most Kiesels are very, very consistent.
That's awesome. And you know what? It would make sense to me that say you go to a NAMM show and you grab one of your guitars off the wall. That's not necessarily yours, but it's your model.
Yeah.
I would imagine that it's got your setup on it, the way you like your guitar set up.
Yes. And Jeff's very, very good about that, man. I mean, he makes sure that our guitars, like my Johnny model, anytime I'm around one at the factory or at a NAMM show or whatever, I mean, they all come with Elixir 9s, which Elixir strings are the bomb. And I just, you know, so, I mean, all Elixirs come with all Kiesels come with Elixir strings, but, you know, for the most part, a lot of folks like 10s, and I think 10s are their standard string they go to, but every time I felt the Johnny model, it's had 9s on it. So you're right.
Nice. That's been I did a bit of a rant about that not too long ago, that on signature guitars, how, you know, half the time an artist playing their signature guitar is a custom shop version of the production model, let alone the production model does not have the artist setup on it usually. You know, I always like to use the example of Phil Collin from Def Leppard because we know he plays with like ridiculously high gauge strings.
Yes.
You're not going into a music store that has one of his guitars with, it's not going to be strung up with 13s.
Right.
Which it should be, though.
Well, I think really, honestly, Ben, I actually made a statement a long time ago on Facebook that I believe in Kiesel guitars so much that if anybody was on the fence about buying a Johnny model or any Kiesel at all, they would be more than welcome if they were on the East Coast in Virginia to stop by my house and play all of mine. And I've truly had not only fans that came by and played them before they ordered them, but I've also had some that brought their Johnny model when they got it back to my house, put it right up against mine, and they're like, man, there's no difference.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, man. And that's been a real wonderful thing to have folks that love my playing and love my guitar buy one and then bring it back to the house and make sure that theirs plays just like mine, and it always has. So that's been fantastic.
Unbelievable. Just commented, I'm moving to Virginia. Well, then, the beautiful part of the country.
Okay.
That's awesome. Leo Safko says, I remember getting the Carvin catalog in the mail regularly back in the 90s.
Sure.
Yes. Me as well, man.
You know what? I remember the Carvin guitars in that catalog being the most beautiful looking things in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes, indeed.
It just that's one thing I got to say about Carvin and Kiesel. Now, I've never played one and I've never touched one. I've never held one. But they are absolutely some of the most gorgeous looking guitars I've ever seen in my life.
Well, and Dave, I've actually had people say to me, well, Johnny, you didn't buy a Carvin when you were younger. And I said, well, no. And I said, I guess the reason for that is when I was a kid, I loved Ricky Skaggs. I loved Albert Lee. I loved Brent Mason. I loved, all the country guys. And they all played tellies, so, and I guess, you're right, Dave. Carvins were just beautiful. When you opened the catalog, I don't know about you, but I was stunned at how beautiful the guitars were.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely.
I remember saying to my dad, I would be scared to death to take that out on a club gig, and I really do believe that's one of the reasons that when we designed my Johnny model, I wanted to keep it simple. I wanted to keep it, like Dave, you asked about this guitar, brother, so I brought it out. But this was the Johnny Hiland prototype right here. This is the guitar that started it all for me. And there's that neck, Dave.
That neck is just ridiculous.
It is.
Move it to you, brother, so you can really see it.
So that's the neck that I would want on my Aries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But as you can see, guys, I went with a very simple body and neck shape and everything. The guitar is very simple. And I guess you would say, well, it doesn't resemble the old Carvins. Well, I guess in a way you're right, but when you can get a neck like that, man, look at the back of that thing.
Yeah. And is that also roasted? Is that roasted bird's eye maple?
Well, I got to be honest, Dave. When I joined the Kiesel family, brother, they did not roast. So this is what you call a KTB board, a Kiesel treated board.
Okay.
So essentially, Jeff colored this neck to make it look this way.
Oh.
My God.
Yeah, so this is not roasted. This is actually a KTB board.
Interesting.
Wow.
But he did an amazing job with it because it looks roasted.
It certainly does. And I've never seen more birds on a guitar than
Nope.
that ever.
That's got all the bird's eyes.
Yeah, it does, man. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, one thing I will bring up to you guys is, of course, a lot of people have been saying, well, Johnny, why did you go with this headstock, man? Why did you go with the pointed 6-in-line? The reason that I did that, guys, was because it doesn't resemble any other T-style on the planet.
That's true.
This headstock looks different. And, of course, they didn't have the GT headstock out when I chose this one. But I'll be honest, man, that's the reason that I went with this headstock. And, of course, there's a little more to that as well. If you guys can see here, on the back of this headstock, if I can get it where I want it.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it's got it.
There's a little contour right here.
Yep,
yeah.
Contour, yes.
And I love that little contour right there.
Mm-hmm.
I like it too.
Which none of the other headstocks offered. So I just really liked that. I thought it gave the neck I thought it gave the look something cool. And being a versatile guitar player myself, and I mean, yes, I'm known for being a chicken picker, but I like to rock out and I like to play blues, and so this headstock kind of went with all genres for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why I went with that.
That's as metal as chicken picking could be.
Yeah, the chicken picking metal guitar.
I dig it.
It's so cool though, man. I love that headstock on this guitar.
I gotta admit, I don't like the headstock, but on that guitar, it's gorgeous. And if I was
Yeah,
going to
man.
get that, I think that yeah, it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Well, you know, I saw this headstock on my first Aries that I got, and I don't know what it was, man, but I fell in love with it. I just really, really liked it. And I know some traditional chicken pickers are kind of like, man, why'd you go with that headstock? But I do believe, and don't quote me on this, but I do believe you can now get the Johnny model with the GT headstock, but I'm not sure about that. So
shut up. We got House of Twang in the chat. We've got Bent Tom lurking away as well. Dave kicking himself out. Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you. I just have to learn how to use this hand. It's really not my hand. It's not mine. It's someone else's. I was just trying to get back to the chat to see if we had any questions. And
I see a lot of comments on how great Kiesels are. People saying hello to each other because they're always saying howdy to each other, which is awesome.
Yes.
Bozique likes the locking tuners. Yep. I agree.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Bozique, who doesn't really care for tellies, likes that one.
Awesome, brother. Get you a Johnny Highland JH6, brother. You'll love that thing.
There we go.
And you
Christopher asked, did you tour ever with Toby Keith?
No, I never got the chance to, brother, but I did play on his Honky Tonk You album. Okay. Actually on the song called She Left Me.
I got to see Toby Keith in concert. He played prior to a NASCAR race one year, and I'm one of those crazy guys that likes to camp in the infield at the NASCAR races, Johnny. So you get to see some good concerts before those races. And Toby Keith, I knew of him. I wasn't a fan before I saw him, but I'll tell you, an hour later, I was like, wow, that was entertaining as hell. Show. Yeah, it was a great show.
And I got to admit, man, the only time I've had a chance to play with Toby was at the if you guys saw the video of me with Sammy Hagar that's all over YouTube from years and years ago, Toby actually played that show as well, and I got to jam with him. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, how cool.
Yep.
Uneffing Believable wants to know, what tuners do you prefer on your guitars, Johnny?
Headstock tuner or floor tuner?
Yes, headstock tuners.
Headstock tuner. Well, I actually love the Go-Go tuner, the Go-Go caliber tuner.
No, I mean the tuning pegs.
The tuning pegs. Actually,
yes,
just Kiesel locking tuners.
Okay.
Yep, just the Kiesel locking tuners. They're 19-to-1 ratio, and I gotta say, boys, I can actually string if I break a string on a Kiesel, which is very rare. I can leave the guitar on and restring with it still on my body.
Can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, unbelievable. And especially if the legally blind guy can do it, y'all can do it. So, unbelievable tuners.
Jasco Plumbing Supply says he's going to go see Genesis tomorrow night on Long Island. And he asks if I'm going. No, I'm not going unless you have an extra ticket there, Matt.
That would be a cool show to see.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I don't think they're doing it again. I think this is the last one for Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yes, and Johnny did touch on it. If you haven't seen him jamming with Sammy Hagar, I'm not going to say it's my favorite version of I'm Going Down, but it's my favorite version of I'm Going Down.
Well, thank you, brother. Thanks so much. Sammy Hagar is one of the coolest guys I've ever known in my life. He's a absolute sweetheart of a guy, and he's a gentleman, and just loves life, and really is, so tickled to be where he is in life as a musician and as an artist, and of course as a person in general. He's just an amazing guy. So yeah, I hope you all catch that video.
Yeah, yeah, I could totally understand that. I've been trying to get in touch with Sammy to do one of these shows forever, and he's so hard to get in touch with.
He should, man. So, brother Sammy, if you're watching, man, jump on with Dave and Ben, man. You'll have a good time.
There you have it, right from Johnny Highland.
That's right.
That's right. All right. I have another question. Johnny, do you own any B-Bender guitars?
I actually have one B-Bender guitar, and it was made by my dear friend, Mr. Forrest Lee Jr., and it is in Nashville right now, or I would show it to you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yes, I do have one B-Bender. Yep.
Nice.
I think it's a moral imperative that all country style guitar players have a B-Bender or have a real steel guitar.
Yeah, but I will admit, Dave, once you get a B-Bender, brother, the problem I found with them is you start forgetting your real chops because you rely on the bender so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hence Marty Stewart, Jimmy Olander, even Ricky Skaggs, man. Ricky back in the day used the B-Bender a lot. And so my job as a youngster coming up loving Ricky Skaggs was to learn all those B-Bender licks without one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you've done it. You've done
That
it.
was
really
a job,
Johnny.
Trent.
Look, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this at all. Yes, you and I are friends, but I'm gonna say, God damn it, you're probably the best guitar player on this planet.
No, shoot, brother, no way.
Hands down, my God, the chops that you have, the teaching skills that you have, the big heart that you have. Listen, I've got a lot of celebrity friends. I'm not patting myself on the back. I've got a lot of celebrity friends, and they're all great. Every one of them are great. But my God, your guitar playing is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, brother, I appreciate that, and I gotta say, I appreciate the compliment, Dave. But I must admit, brother, I'm probably the best thief on the planet.
But
you ever heard of a blind thief? That's me.
That's what makes you so good. It makes you so good because, and when you use other people's stuff, you kind of hide it. You hide it behind you. It ends up.
Well, that's what you try to do, man. You sneak it in
I remember.
there, and back out. You sneak it in there and you pull it back out. You know.
That's right. I remember watching your Facebook Live a couple weeks ago, and you had a friend on, and you were playing this song, and you were playing the solos while he was picking an acoustic guitar, and you were playing these Les Paul licks. And I remember saying, man, it is amazing that you were able to get those Les Paul, not Les Paul the guitar, Les Paul the human being, the Les Paul licks in and still make it sound like Johnny. And it was so impressive. I was like, this guy does everything. And you know what? Everyone, if you don't have a Johnny Hiland record, go get yourself the Chatham Section record. It's his latest record. It has got a little bit of everything for everybody on it. If you like blues, it's got blues. If you like chicken picking country, it's got country. If you like pop, it's got pop on it. If you like metal, it's got metal on it. He even taps on it. Does the two-hand Van Halen tapping? He plays with gain. He plays clean. He plays with just overdrive. Johnny Hiland here. You got to get the new record, the Chatham Sessions. I know he's working on a record right now. We can maybe talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But if you don't have the Chatham Session record, please go get one.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I tell you what, Johnny, I'm going to buy one of those records. I'm going to PayPal you the money after the show. We are going to give away one of your records. I want you to sign one, and we'll do some sort of giveaway tonight where we give away one of your records. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? We never printed the Chatham Sessions. But guess what, folks? Christmas time's a coming, and I do have a Christmas CD and a gospel CD here at the house. So if Dave lets me know, I'll actually give both of them. Dave, we'll give 2 Johnny records away tonight.
Okay. Well, I'll buy them. I'll buy them from you so that we're supporting you.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. But I will say, I have the gospel record here called "Picking for the Lord," and I have Jamming on Christmas with Brother Blake Padilla on B3 piano, and I really wanted with that record to do what Joey DeFrancesco and Danny Gatton did on Relentless.
Okay.
But how do you top that record? It's like phenomenal. So Blake and I decided to do one. Blake's one of my favorite keyboard players and an amazing vocalist as well. But we did it all instrumental, and but it's called Jammin' on Christmas. So yeah, I can't wait to see who gets that record tonight.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right,
I want to get before it flips out here, Dave. Taylor 315 with a super chat for us. Great show tonight, guys. What gauge strings does Johnny use, and what size are the frets on his guitars?
Actually, I use Elixir strings, nano webs, and a 9-42, and the radius on my neck is a 10-inch radius with medium jumbo frets, stainless steel.
There we are.
Very cool.
I dig it.
And I got to say, I love the 10-inch radius.
I do too, brother.
I've got a couple of Strats from Wildwood Guitars, and they have their Wildwood 10s, of course. And one of the 10 things on the Strats that make it different from every other custom shop are that they have 10-inch radius. And I got to say, that is the most comfortable radius on a guitar that I know that I can.
I'm with you, brother, totally.
Yeah.
But you know, Dave, it's funny you mentioned that too, brother, because Jeff Kiesel actually, when Kiesel started making the Johnny Highland 6-shooter single pickups in-house at Kiesel, they had sent a guitar through NAMM that had the pickups, and they wanted me to take them home and put them up against my original ones that Billy Magella had made for me in Electric City Pickups. And to be honest with you, they were identical. I mean, the tone, the responsiveness, everything. Jeff's dad actually nailed those pickups in making them in-house at Kiesel. But I must say, brother, they put a 14-inch radius on a Johnny model, and I absolutely went crazy over it.
Really?
So, yes, because it makes it easier to bend. You know, doing the chicken picking.
Oh, yeah.
It made it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So do all your Johnny models have a 14-inch?
Nope, they're 10s.
Okay, they're all 10s.
Yep.
And, man, wow.
But I'll say this, Dave. I had to bring the 14-inch radius Johnny model home, though, because I loved it so much.
Sure.
Which color is that one?
It's red, just like the prototype.
Oh, okay.
Scarlet red.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Have I seen that one yet?
Oh, yeah. You saw me play it on Facebook. It's the same exact guitar, just with a plain maple neck on it.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yep. And, of course, the knobs are in the right spot. But actually, I'll share one more with you boys while I'm talking here.
Sure.
This guitar actually was built by Jeff Kiesel, and it was really the first Johnny Highland model he did in a sparkle finish. And I loved it so much that he gave it to me for my 45th birthday, man. So I got to share this guitar with y'all.
Absolutely.
So here is my Don Rich tribute guitar. It's a Johnny model in a silver sparkle with a roasted neck.
Ooh.
Look at the sparkles in that thing, man.
What up, John Jorgensen?
I'm not going to say eat your heart out, Brad Paisley, but eat your heart out, Brad Paisley, because it's nicer.
But it's got an actual roasted maple neck on it with the black diamond inlay.
That's sharp with the black diamond inlays. I like that.
Yes. All Johnny models come that way, brother, on a maple neck.
I also like that it's lightly roasted. It's not terribly dark.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not. Now, while I have this guitar in my hands, Dave, I'll tell everybody what you get with the Johnny Highland model is I have steak fries for fingers. So knowing that, I could never reach the volume and tone knob on a standard Tele very well at all. So what we did is we actually moved the volume and tone knob up and put the switch down underneath.
I love it.
Yeah.
So it does make it way more comfortable to play. And here's the back side of it, just so you guys can see it. There's the back side.
Nice. Talk about contours. Boy, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, there's the back. Look at the wood grain in this beautiful neck, boys. That's just a straight roasted maple, but the grain is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful, beautiful guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's pretty.
Yep. Very, very sweet. This is actually probably my go-to number one guitar right now, outside of the prototype with the fancy neck. You know, I absolutely love this guitar so much. This guitar is on a lot of songs and a lot of records, boys. I can assure you that. And I've only had it for about 1.5 years now. So going on 2 years. I'm almost 47. So yeah, almost 2 years.
You know, you're a lot younger than I am. So God bless you.
I was going to say, and he's just a little younger than me because I'm going to be 48 in May.
There you go, brother. I'll be 47 January 18th.
Wow.
Very nice.
January
I was going to comment, Dave. You brought up Johnny's playing earlier.
Yeah.
And Johnny's runs, the way you attack a lead break, Johnny, it reminds me of a roller coaster where we're starting already at the top because you will just come in with a run and then you bend a string better than anybody I've ever heard because you do this bend that it sounds like we're hitting that peak and you hold it for just that microsecond before you bring it down, and I'm right along for the ride every time. And I have to say, nobody bends a string better than you, brother.
Well, thank you, brother. I think that was really, that really kind of became one of the really at the forefront of my style. And I say that because, like I shared earlier, it was really trying to copy all the country B-bender licks without one.
Mm-hmm.
And so for anybody who is interested in a lesson with me, all you have to do is email me at HILAND, HILAND, 007@comcast.net. I do teach, and I would love to teach you all those bends and open string licks and double stops and all the chicken picking goodness.
So let's take it back one step on that. When in order to get that good and that exact on those bends, what type of ear training have you done and what type of exercises have you done with your fingers? Because that's not just muscle memory. That's getting exact. That's just an exacting thing. What kind of
Dave, it's funny. I'm not hooked up, brother, right now, but I can assure you, with you and I talking as much as we do, we'll FaceTime the next time we get together, and I'll show you how to do that. There are very easy exercises that I did to match each note.
Uh-huh.
And what I would do is actually take a major scale and I would practice bending the notes. So like when you went from an A, you bend up to the B. You don't just hit the 7th fret. So, and then I would take that, the next, like on the A string, I would bend the C sharp into the D. So it's a half tone bend. So you had to really get used to hearing the major scale in your head and then bending those notes to reach each of the intervals of the scale. So really that's one of the main exercises I did was just practice scale patterns, but just bending them.
Mm-hmm. That's a great.
But I have a very safe-proof plan on how you can practice your bends very easily and be precise with them. And it gets to where you just start playing that way without even thinking about it because your fingers get so used to doing it.
Yeah.
And you're precise every time.
Wow.
So yes, I'll share that with you, brother. You'd have fun with that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I just doing pedal steel bends for hours on end after discovering Johnny, and that's how I kind of got into it myself as far as the accuracy, and then playing, in a rock band and doing bar gigs, of course. The chance to add one of those licks in is a very rare occasion, but our drummer was a huge country fan. So when I could, just to end a song or something on a crazy note, and he had his own mic, Johnny, and he'd go, every time you do that, that gives me the feels. He wouldn't say anything all night, and then that was it. And I would do it just for him. It's like you say, it's a lot of work, but once you get used to it.
Well, boys, I think the most fun I've had, I obviously won a Grammy with Ricky Skaggs on Brand New Strings and played on records for Toby Keith and Trick Pony, Randy Travis, Rebecca Lynn Howard, Janie Fricke, Lynn Anderson, and many, many more. But the most fun I had with my bends, believe it or not, was playing on stage with Steve Vai. I had to twin Steve on the Crying Machine at the House of Blues in Anaheim.
Mhm.
And when I was twinning him on the end, I started bending, doing all my steel guitar bends and stuff in around the melody of that song as I was twinning him. And then, of course, I played with G3 at the Ryman. And, with Yngwie and Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. And, of course, Neil Sean was there that night. And so I got to meet Neil and hang out with him. But I remember we were doing Rockin' in the Free World. And I stuck the Mama Tried lick in there, and the Ryman just exploded. So sticking all those steel bends in rock tunes, man, is actually really fun.
That is cool. That is
I
cool.
love
That
that.
you know what? That must have been the most exhilarating show, one of them of your career, because you come in, yes, highly technical player, but not 180-degree turn from what they do.
My goodness, yeah.
All right, you got Steve Vai, who is one of the best technical player, but he's like an upside down question mark. He does things that no one else can do.
Exactly.
Like no one else thinks of. He plays guitar the way no one else thinks.
That's right.
It's kind of a little off kilter, and you go, huh? But then it's like, oh my God, how the hell do you do it? Then you got the neoclassical star of Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yes.
You've got probably the most soulful and melodic player in Neil Schon.
Yes.
And then
Satriani too, man. Satch is like
Satriani. Satriani he's the bit of everything there. He's the everything guy, but he's the jack of all trades and master of everything.
And Dave, I have to give Joe Satriani credit, man, because I learned to really write instrumentals based on him.
Yeah.
And when I played with G3 at the Ryman, man, I told Joe how much of a hero he was to me, and he just kind of did this thing, like, what? But then again, as I explained things to him, and of course he didn't know at the time because I hadn't released a record then. And of course, from that night, Billy Sheehan offered to play on my first record, and I got to cut that record at the Mothership Studios in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I actually got to go to Steve Vai's house, which was cool. But all of those gentlemen, Yngwie, Neil Schon, Satriani, and Vai, all were major heroes to me. And I know that sounds funny coming from a chicken picker, but they influenced me in so many ways that to have the opportunity to get on stage with all of them at the same time was just a dream come true. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, I would like to just be in the same building.
And boys, the funny thing is, Yngwie looked at me and he goes, "I like you because you play Fender." But I'll be honest, Yngwie, if you're watching, brother, I love you very much, but I play Kiesel now. I'm not a Fender boy no more.
Okay.
But I love you back, brother.
Okay with it. I think he'd be okay with it. Let me ask you one question that really has nothing to do with any of this. When you were at the Mothership, which one of Steve's guitars did you like the best? Because I'm sure you played some of them.
He had a little black gem, but it was a kind of a coarse paint job on it. It wasn't gloss, and it almost felt like it had a texture to it.
Yes.
But it had the old handle in it, and it had I think it was black, and it had like the multicolored pickups, the red, green, and whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it had a maple neck on it, which Vai obviously uses ebony, and but this one had a maple neck on it, man, and I couldn't put that thing down. I just loved that guitar. It was amazing, and it was just one that he had laying on the couch in the green room at the studio. But to do that first record, man, with Billy Sheehan on bass, Pat Torpey on drums from Mr. Big, of course, and then Bill Holloman from Danny Gatton's band playing keyboards and sax, and then having Neil Citron engineering the whole thing, who obviously did all the music for That Thing You Do, other movie soundtracks, and then to have the great Peter Collins producing the record. He did Metallica, Rush, and I'm a huge Rush head, man. So
that's
to
good.
have Peter Collins in the studio with me was just a jolly joy. It was.
I bet.
So I had such a blast doing that record, man. And just for some Johnny Highland trivia in the future, for the folks that watch me on Facebook, there may come a trivia question one day on which Johnny Highland album did he actually get to play one of Steve Vai's amps. It was the very first record, and the song was called "Run With It."
Oh, no
I actually
kidding.
got to play through Vai's rig, my pedal board, but his amp rig. So
Interesting.
So that was pretty awesome. That's something I'll never forget.
That's cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
very cool.
just for those of you who catch me on Facebook, you might win a prize if you remember the answer to that.
And what time on Sundays do you usually go live on Facebook?
Actually, I do every other Sunday now, and it's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Johnny Highland Official.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
so
my wife
not
comes on with me. She's the moderator. She reads all the questions and stuff because obviously the blind boy could not do that. And she is just so much fun to do a Facebook Live with, Ben. So you got to catch us, brother, when you get a chance.
Awesome.
I'll say this also. Don't be afraid to say something because Kimmy, Johnny's wife, reads every, and I mean every comment. Every comment.
My Kim girl is the biggest
And
blessing
Johnny-
God has ever brought my life. I adore her. We've been married 17 years this next April.
Awesome.
And she is the best thing that's ever happened to my life. I adore every fiber of her being, and I'm just so glad that we get to spend our lives together.
Amen. Amen. And one more thing, Johnny will answer every question.
Oh, yeah.
Every question, every statement. If you say hi to Johnny and Kimmy, guaranteed Johnny will say hi back. So will Kimmy.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, Johnny takes care of all of his fans. It's and I'm not saying this because he's here. It's just the truth. I've seen it. I've visually seen it.
Well, I love y'all, Dave, because really, brother, if it weren't for guys like y'all and the folks watching us here, I wouldn't continue to do what I do. It's not an easy life by any means, but it's all you great folks watching, and you, Dave and Ben. It's folks like you that keep me doing what I do, brother. So I'm very, very grateful always.
Sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I get it. You know, YouTube, it's opened my eyes to a lot of players over the years.
Yeah.
And I love with this interaction, like with the chat and stuff, which is why I got into YouTube and, you know, doing my own channel and Dave bringing me on here. Because I don't know about you, Johnny, but years ago, YouTube for me, it was like Google. It was a resource. Like I want to check out a pedal. So you search in a term, you find a demo, and that was it. Whereas this is more that.
Still do that,
like,
brother.
Yeah, now it's more like a Facebook aspect where it's that community aspect where these are my friends, you know, like Bent Tom here in the chat. I talk to Bent Tom 2 or 3 times a week, you know, and he's one of my best friends and he's in Philadelphia, you know, that's just the way it goes. And that I love that interaction. Like I came across you initially, I was watching, I think it was the first Rob Chapman tour and you wandered in and the look on Rob's face, that was the same look on my face because I went, who is this guy alongside Rob? And immediately I went, okay, I watched that video and immediately I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of typing in Johnny Highland and watching you at NAMM jams and, you know, cafes and Nashville jams and festivals and everything I could get my hands on.
Brother, we've played it all. And I have to actually give player TJ Armstrong credit for that, brother, because he actually called me on the phone and said, hey, man, Rob Chapman's going to be in Nashville. Have you ever met him? And I said, no. He said, get a shower. I'm on the way over to get you. And so he took me over to meet Rob, man, and we had a great time together. And I do love Rob Chapman as a person. He's just a fantastic guy. But the Canadian in the band, Ben, actually took me to meet Rob, man. So I have to give TJ credit for that.
That's awesome. We got a couple of things I want to talk about in the chat here.
Sure.
Ben Tom says he met Johnny and Kimmy at the Philly Guitar Show where they were 2 peas in a pod. We were hanging at the Jimmy Wallace booth. True gentleman, and Kimmy was an angel. Sean Zimmerman says, Johnny, finished or unfinished necks for you?
I like tongue oil necks. Tongue oil
Okay.
necks, man. That's the only way to go for me. I just love the feel of them, and I just think they're so comfortable.
Sure.
Awesome. Mike as himself says, Johnny, I love elixirs. What kind of action do you play with, higher or low?
You know, brother, I like it. I know a lot of tele players like their action as low as they can possibly get it. And Dave and I have a mutual brother named Dion Edge that actually used to do a lot of tech work for me. And he'd get my action so low that it would be like right on the board. And I said, you know, Dion, I said, I play slide too, brother. So I need you to bring that up just a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I like my action down as pretty much as low as I can get it, and then raise it up just enough where you can play slide without fretting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
can.
the same way.
Yeah, I like my action super low too. If you want numbers, I can give you numbers. I like my action between 1 30-second and 1.5 30-seconds at the 12th fret on both sides, low and high.
That's
Wow,
not
Dave, that's
bad.
incredible, brother, because I couldn't give you numbers on mine.
Yeah, I normally don't use numbers. I normally just go by eye and by feel because I set up my own guitars. I'm a luthier as well. I build guitars and I put them together. I don't build from scratch because I don't have that. I don't have two hands. So
Yeah.
but like even on a telly with 9.5-inch radius, which this has got 1.5 because at 1 inch at 1 30-second, it'll fret out when you bend. But at 1.5 30-seconds, it's still really low. You can use slide, and it bends nicely. It doesn't fret out anywhere. It feels great under the fingers. It has a little bit of bounce, and my God, it's great. But any more than that, any higher than that, I start fretting notes out sharp because I have a little bit harder touch. So I have soft touch because I like low action. But if the action's higher, it makes me play harder than I realize. So when I fret a note, it tends to be sharp. So that's why I like low action.
You know, it's
And that's
funny
why
you
I go
mentioned
to.
that, Dave. I am a very hard, aggressive guitar player. And wearing a thumb pick now has a lot to do with that. But I must admit, having the hand issues I have now, I've been trying to play lighter. But man, you can't play with aggression playing light. You just can't.
No. Well, you're right. And when I say I play light, I believe it's just the pressure of my fingers on the fretboard. But you can play light and still play with a lot of intensity, and of course you you play with intensity whenever you play.
It's funny, brother. When I look at this prototype Johnny model, I have to tell you, I'm surprised that I haven't dug the shit out of the bottom of where those pickups are from just playing so hard right in between the bridge and the bridge pickup and the middle pickup. That's about where I play. And I got to admit, brother, I have not. This is actually a raw tone finish. So you can see all the grain in the wood.
Yeah, I love that.
But I got to admit, man, as hard as I play, I have not. I've owned this guitar going on 5.5 years now, and I have not dug the paint away or anything underneath. So here again, that's something I worried about with a raw tone finish. But these raw tone finishes that Kiesel does are tough because I have played the love and guts out of this guitar, brother.
Sure.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to thank everyone in the chat for the kind words towards me and the problems that I'm going through. Believe me, I'm reading everything. I know I'm not commenting on it because honestly, it's not about me tonight. It usually is, but not tonight.
Oh, it's usually about Dave. No.
So believe me, I'm reading everyone's comments. I apologize for not getting to anyone, but I collectively want to thank everyone for giving a shit about me. I appreciate it, really. Yes, sir, John.
Love you, brother.
I appreciate that, and I know it. I know it because I feel it, and
Yeah, we
And,
love you and Des to death, buddy. And of course, now Ben's become like my new brother already. So
I try, Johnny. I try. I just.
Well, and hey, everybody needs to know good Canadian, man. That's the truth. So, boys, actually,
it's good,
I don't want to anything, but I actually have my partner in life standing here waiting for me to help me turn the camera so you boys can see the new amp and the pedal board.
Oh yeah.
So if you would like those.
Yes.
I know Unbelievable was asking about pedals earlier, so that'll be.
Well, you guys will be
able
to see my
I love pedals.
So Johnny, my wife, my beautiful wife says, "Oh, I love you and Kimmy also, Johnny."
Oh, thank you very much. We love you right back.
So what do we What do we got going on there?
Ooh.
All right, so from Guitar In, you go into the Go-Go Horizon Tuner,
mm-hmm.
and then you actually go into the Keeley Compressor Plus, which is my favorite compressor, and they just released a new mini version of that, which is just...
How awesome is that?
Oh, it's incredible, brother. It really is.
Mm-hmm. I have the same compressor.
The Sweetwater version that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes down into the Soma 63 preamp pedal down on the bottom right. That is made by Greer Amps, and that is my Danny Gatton in a box.
Nice.
Then you go on to the Johnny Highland Sweet Spot Super Drive made by Keeley, which is my light overdrive. Then you go into the Johnny Highland Grumble Box made by Metal Pedals. And I just recently took the smokestack off because of a Facebook Live where I put my MXR Phase 90 on there. And that goes up into the Decimator 2 by ISP, down into the TC Electronic Flashback 2 X4, and then finishing off with the J-Rocket Boeing Spring Reverb, and then out to the new Johnny Highland amp, which is sitting right here next to me. Let me see if I can show that to y'all without tripping on anything.
Oh, please be
careful. Boy. Here we go, boys.
It's a road trip. We're on tour.
All right, so here is the new Johnny Highland amp by Fat Jimmy.
Oh, nice.
That is a smoking amp, boys, and I'll see. Let me see if I can turn my light a little bit better so you can see it better. But it's actually a saddle brown.
Okay, yeah.
See this?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks
gorgeous. There you go. It's in saddle brown, and it is simply an 85-watt 112 with a Celestion G12K100 in it. 4 6L6s, 12 AX7s, and it actually has, like I said, 85 watts, but the front panel is just volume, treble, middle bass, and the Jimmy knob. And the Jimmy knob adds a little bit extra dirt, so a little bit of a gain stage and some extra presence if you want it.
Nice.
Got a tone shield down there in the front of that, boys, which is a product I will not live without now because it pushes your sound up to you instead of out to your audience.
Oh, really?
So it saves everybody's ears.
And that actually works. That works.
Yes, man. It is incredible. That is an amazing little piece of gear right there.
I'm going to have to look into that.
Toneshield.com. It's incredible. And it folds up and fits right in the back of your amp after the show's over.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm actually running the Johnny amp through a Amp RX brown box for voltage regulation. And as you guys can see, I've got my can of Finger Ease, which is the nectar of the gods and my secret weapon. And I've got BioFreeze these days because of my arm. But I've got the new Johnny Highland Mag Slide, which I'll show you in a moment. And
Mag slides are great.
Yeah, I love those slides, brother. I really do. And then, as you see, Dave, there's a Johnny T-shirt on there and a sticker on top for my Facebook Lives like I normally do.
Oh, yeah, you're all set. You're ready to do that.
So the Johnny amp is actually not available yet, but it is available in an 85-watt or a 50-watt.
My goodness.
To let everybody know, it's not on the market yet because of COVID and everything going on in our country. It's very hard for Brother Mike Pascal of Fat Jimmy to get the necessary parts in to actually release the amp.
Yes, I understand. How
So
heavy
that
is
the
that?
prototype? And there will be a second prototype I've got coming. But after that, we're going to wait on the release until Brother Mike Pascal can get all the necessary parts he needs.
That's
Sure.
cool. How heavy is that amplifier to carry?
50 pounds.
All right, that's not terrible.
No,
Still
50
light.
pounds, brother, is a lot lighter than what I've been used to lugging around.
It's a lot lighter than the Super Reverb.
Yeah, and it's a lot lighter than the. Of course, there's all the guitars, folks.
Oh, wait
Ooh,
a
yeah.
second. I didn't see all those yet.
Yeah,
There's
you've
one.
seen most of them. I think there's only one on there I haven't showed you, or two.
What's that white guitar?
Yes, I do, baby. I'm gonna have Kimmy help you guys get back to where you can see me again.
That's awesome stuff.
Actually, brother
Take a
Dave,
picture
the
of that
guitar
pedal
that
right
looks
there.
white. The guitar that looks white, brother, is actually a Seafoam Green SH550.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and let me see if I can grab onto it for you. Now, there's a funny story about this guitar before I show it to y'all. I was actually going to CAS, which is Chet Atkins Appreciation Days in Nashville that they had at the Sheraton Hotel. And I told Jeff, I said, man, I'd love to walk a Kiesel SH550 up into all those Gretsch folks. And he said, man, you'd do that? And I said, yes, I would. And what you doing there, sweetie?
I'm trying to get you to where you could see them.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, I think it's
So-
me.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
sweetheart. Appreciate that, baby. So
Thank you.
Anyway, I said, Jeff, when you're coming to Summer NAMM, build up a really cool rockabilly style, Gretsch looking SH550, and I'd love to take it to Chet Days. So I walk into NAMM the very first day, and there's this SH550 hanging there. And he had told me, yeah, we'll build one up, man. We'll send it to you after NAMM and then send it back to us. You know I couldn't do that, brother. I had to buy the guitar. Because what Jeff did is he made it in a seafoam green with black hardware, and where Johnny Boy wanted to play it, he made it with a maple neck and black block inlay.
Wow.
Look at that.
And
Oh my
it is a sweet, sweet guitar. It's got an acoustic piezo pickup in it. You can blend in with
Awesome.
the magnetic pickups. And, of course, it's got actual... See if I can show you guys this. It's got actual wood binding.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It's a really, really cool guitar. But now here's the trip, Dave. On the back, brother, there's it's actually a mahogany neck.
Ooh.
Yes, it's a beautiful mahogany neck. Still has the locking tuners. But it's a gorgeous mahogany neck with a maple fingerboard and black block inlay. And here's the back of it. All seafoam green.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's awesome.
But this is the guitar that I do all my Chet Atkins picking, Travis picking on. And it is a semi-hollow body. I mean, it rocks out. It does exactly what I need it to do.
That's beautiful.
But after I saw this at NAMM, boys, I had to have it. It became mine. And truly, Miss Kimmy is a Gretsch lover. She loves Gretsch guitars. And I said, well, darling, you know I'm a Kiesel boy through and through. So I said, you got to walk into NAMM with me, and I got to show you a guitar. So when I actually showed Miss Kimmy this guitar hanging at the NAMM booth, in the Kiesel booth, she hauled out her purse and pretty much bought me this guitar. So,
That's very nice.
so see, Des, you girls are just amazing, letting us hubbies have the guitars we love.
That's right. And if Kimmy likes Gretsch guitars, there's one for you right there in the corner.
I have one just off camera. Everybody needs a Gretsch or something Gretsch-like.
Gretsch-like, yes.
Yes. What's that fretboard made out of? Gretsch-like.
Gretsch-like. Johnny,
What's up, people?
I don't know if you can see that, but there it is.
Oh, Dave's got one.
Oh, yeah. Of a big old Gretsch 6120 there.
Oh, man. Don't show that to Miss Kimmy, brother. She'll want me to buy it.
Well, you can buy one. Not that one, but you can buy one, yeah.
Well, man, I will say, though, boys, I've always liked the Gretsch look because of Chet, and stuff like that. But I wasn't really a fan of how they played, and I guess, they were made in Korea or Japan or wherever, not made in the States anymore. And there's something to be said about that. So when the SH550, when this one popped up, and this was the one he was going to let me take to NAMM, I said, I'm not sending this back to y'all. I've got to buy it. So I said, Brandon, get me a price on it, brother, because I need it. And I think I've shown you guys every guitar on the rack except one.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's also a funny story with this one, too, Dave. I had a Gibson R7 57 reissue historic. And this Kiesel guitar ate it for lunch. Truly ate it for lunch, to where I sold my R7 to get this guitar.
Well,
so now I'll show it to you. This guitar is absolutely sweet, man. It's like I said, I sold my Gibson Les Paul to get this guitar.
Woo! Look at that.
And it is a charcoal gray, but with red edges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a beauty. I love this guitar. And it's got a beautiful fretboard on it, real mother of pearl inlays. It's got the cool headstock. And the whole guitar on the back is black. Completely black. But boys, I'm going to tell you something. What really freaked me out about this Kiesel guitar was the fact that Jeff put the knobs in the right place for a guy who was used to playing a Strat or a Tele.
Sure.
So you got the volume knob in the right place, and it's one master volume, one master tone, and of course your switch is up here like on a regular, LP style guitar. But to be honest with you, I was playing this at a show after getting the guitar, and I just so happened to reach my hand down to the tone knob and pulled up. This guitar actually split the coil. That push-pull split the coils of these beryllium pickups in here. And brother, I could do a whole Johnny Highland chicken picking show on this guitar.
Sure.
It was incredible, the tones I was getting out of this guitar. So, needless to say, I sold my R7 for this one, but I'm very, very glad I did. It's absolutely a beast, and I love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, I'm going to just mute myself for a second because my dog fell. I got to take care of her, okay?
You do that.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Just taking a look
so
through
Ben,
the chat.
You ready to get you a Kiesel yet, brother?
You got me. I'm going to be having that website open later tonight, checking stuff out.
That's what you need to do. I must admit, but out of all the guitar companies I've endorsed through the years, I know that people have said some pretty nasty things about me on the internet over the years about switching guitar companies and different companies through the years, but that was all because of business-related stuff.
I've been defending you on that for years, Johnny.
Kiesel in my hand one day, as long as Jeff Kiesel will have me a part of the family, that is. But I truly believe in Kiesel guitars so much, love the company, and I'm so proud to be an artist with them. And I could not be happier in my life these days.
That's awesome.
I've heard those comments, and I've seen them in my chats. Well, Johnny's, with a new company that, again, I grew up in the NASCAR world where you openly wore your sponsor. And I was just like, you ever heard of the Vans Warped Tour? The shoe company doesn't put on tours just for the sake of putting on tours. There's a lot more sponsorship and business that you don't even see about and stuff like that. And I was just like, no, I get it. Like, when a contract is up and you have the ability, because you have the ability to attract companies to help you do what you do, I see nothing wrong with that. And
I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's nice of companies to give you stuff. It's always nice to get stuff, but
it is. But
here's the thing: the way I see it is, you were working your way to honing in exactly what you want, and if you believe you're there now, then everything you've done up until now is worth it.
Well, and I think what people do not understand about the music business, brother, is it could be any number of things that cause an artist to leave a company. It could be that they're not going to release your signature model. They're not going to do what they agreed to do in your contract. Maybe they dislike your manager, or there's so many things that can cause an artist to leave a company.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess to people it just looked like I was jumping from one company to the other, but I was with Fender for the shortest time, but then I was with PRS, and I was growing in the fact that when I was with Steve Vai, I needed a 24 fret neck and a whammy bar, and to be able to do have humbuckers that could split.
Yep.
And then I went on to Music Man because of business reasons. And then Music Man essentially just said, Johnny, we just, we're just not going to build the signature guitar you want, brother. You're wanting to bring back an old model, and we're just not going to go there. So I actually had Music Man's blessing to leave, and then went to Kiesel in 2016. And I got to be honest, boys, I put my money where my mouth is with Kiesel guitars. That SH550 I just showed you, I bought. Some of the Kiesels on the mahogany Strat style, I bought that guitar. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is with Kiesel because I believe in the company, one, but number two, I love them all as family. Every person that works in that factory gives you 100% every day they come to work. They believe in the Kiesel brand and in the family and in the guitars. They're all exceptional players as much as they are builders. So not only is my trust in the product itself, but I truly, truly love the Kiesel family. I love every person that's there, including Jeff and his dad, Mark, and everybody else. So, and just like with Fat Jimmy, Mike Pascal and I have a wonderful relationship. I love him like a brother. Tsunami cables. I'm sure someone's going to ask what cables I use. I use Tsunamis, and Tsunami cables are the best cables I've ever heard tonally, and they just happen to look cool. I mean, they did the Blind Guy some in neon green. I mean, how do you beat that, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Tone green, folks.
But then again, I have such an amazing relationship with Tsunami and all the pedal companies. I love Robert Keeley. I love all the boys from J Rocket, Mike Monster from Go Go Tuners, Nick Greer. I mean, so what I'm getting, even Earth boards and Voodoo Lab. I mean, on this pedal board, I'm using the Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 3 Plus. And everything that's on this board, it's on an earth board. So all the pedals on this board actually magnetize to a boot, and then you Velcro it to a boot, and then it magnetizes to the board.
That's awesome.
I love it. So you can take them off and on, put them on as easy as possible.
Yes. Now, just to give you an example, I know you boys can't see my board right now, but if say I wanted to change out my Soma to something else, which I would never do, but watch how quick it is. I reach down, I unplug the cables. It's magnetized.
That's great.
It took me longer to unplug the pedal than it did to pull it off the board. I'm not ripping my guts out on Velcro anymore.
Yeah.
But here's an example of what one of the boots look like.
That's really cool.
So I definitely tell you guys to go to earthboardmusic.com and get yourself an earthboard. You'll never yank your guts out again on foot pedals. And just so you guys know as well, I have the 1020 as well. When you actually put your pedals on these boots, Dave and Ben, what's so cool about that is you'll see there's a little jack port right here on the bottom.
Yep.
And what that means is there's a little cable that connects to the bottom of this and then into the power jack of your pedal on the top. Oh. And the minute this magnetic boot touches the rail of your pedal board, it powers your pedals.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's an amazing concept, and I believe earth boards are the new pedal board of the future. I think they're just incredible. So to me, they are the pedal board of 2021 going into 22. So y'all check out earth boards. They're amazing. But what I was getting at, though, folks, is all of the folks that I'm involved with now, I love as family. I love them all as much as I love their product. And that's the most important key to an artist being endorsed with any company.
So true. I agree on that. And I will say I've had some dealings with Robert Keeley, and he is an amazing guy, super nice.
Yeah. And you know what I love about Robert too, man, is he gets pedals. He knows that pedals are ear candy, so he may look at me at times and go, "Hey, why are you using that pedal for delay or reverb or whatever?" And I'll be like, "Well, just because that's the pedal that suits me and what I need, brother. You know, I love digital delay with modulation." And then he just, "Well, have you ever tried my Caverns?" No, I don't believe I have, Robert. "Well, you know, come by the booth, man. I'd love to show you one."
Yeah.
And so, but then again, he never frowns when he sees a pedal board with all kinds of different brands on it, because he knows every pedal is different and unique and offers a unique sound and a unique look. And with me being legally blind, boys, I got to find pedals that I can see as much as I can use.
That's right. I don't see any. Well, do you have some black pedals on your board?
Yes, the Go-Go Horizon is actually a dark gray, but I have no black pedals on my board, no.
Okay. I wouldn't think so. I would think they would all be as bright as possible so you could see them.
And if they are black, they have white, huge chicken knobs on them.
There you go.
Yep. So I do have to keep my blindness in check when it comes to picking out gear that works best for me.
I was just looking back, and my LPD pedal board is very colorful, and I think that's one of the things that Lawrence decided when he redesigned the company. His limited runs all look the same with a black face, but his production models, it's like a rainbow of colors.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I love that Lawrence Petro stuff. Love it.
Here,
his pedals are fantastic. Johnny, we got to get you into an 87.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, the 87 is the best modded Plexi and JCM 800 in a pedal. Marshall.
So Dave, is that your go-to Marshall Plexi pedal?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, same here. I use the deluxe model so I can have both channels.
Yeah, so that's the deluxe model that Ben just. Hang on, let me get to Ben. Hang on, let me get to Ben without unplugging myself again. There you go. So that Seafoam green pedal called the 87. That's the deluxe model, and that has where you can get to both within one step on a foot. I have the single pedal, the single channel, and on mine I have a two-way switch that takes you from JCM 800 to a modded Plexi.
Yeah, the mini toggle right in there.
Yeah, it's just wonderful.
And Johnny, you definitely need to check out
Ben, that board.
I'm using a one spot for this one.
Okay.
This one you definitely need to check out because I know you like your drives. This is my signature pedal, the Nice Drive, eh?
Ah. Does the A come attached to it, Ben?
Oh yeah. A free A with every pedal.
Nice.
And that's like a Class A amp cranked in a box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, do either one of you boys use preamp pedals?
Oh, yeah. I love preamp pedals.
What is your favorite?
That's a good question. I'm going to say those EP boosts.
Okay.
And yet, I've never owned one, but just the sheer volume of them on players' boards, and you never see them come up used.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I have one that I'm selling, by the way.
There you go, Ben. Scoop it up, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk, Dave.
Yeah, scoop it up, bro.
Here's one. It's not necessarily a clean boost, but I love, and I mean I love, my Noble's ODR1 Mini.
Okay,
Natural overdrive. It's low gain. It's not really high. There's no high gain involved. It's low to maybe mid if you really crank it, but it's really a low gain pedal, kind of like
I've got one.
Light speed. And now, Johnny, do you have a vintage one or do you have a newer one?
Actually, believe it or not, Dave, I actually had, of course, I don't have it now. I gave it to a student and never got it back. But I had the first Noble's ODR1 that was in the United States.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
I've been trying.
I've actually had several versions of the ODR one. I think now I've got more of a. I guess mine's probably 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get an original one from Tom Bukovac for as long as I've been talking to that guy, and I love him. Yeah, he's amazing and such a great guy.
Well,
But
Dave, have you tried the Greer Lightspeed?
Yes, and I love it. I love it. It's a different animal though. The Greer Lightspeed is a different animal. I love Greer pedals. Their Southland. I have two. I like the Southland pedals so much that I bought two of them.
Nice.
And they're both custom colors. They're both black boxes. One has silver. One has pink writing, and the other one has orange writing on it. And they're one serial number apart, both of them.
So I don't own the Southland, Dave. How would you describe it next to the Lightspeed?
It's a Lightspeed, but it's mid to a little bit more than mid gain. It's low gain to almost high gain, but not really high gain. It's more of a mid gain pedal, but it sounds great at low gain as well, and different enough from the Lightspeed where you should have both.
Oh wow, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Actually, boys, I'm also into. You're gonna laugh when I say this, but I'm actually very much into octave fuzzes these days.
Oh, how cool!
Oh,
so,
really?
do you guys have any octave fuzzes that you love?
You don't even have one. I don't even have one.
I currently don't have any. When I get into octave fuzzes, I would talk to my good buddy out of Nashville, RJ Ronquillo. He knows his octave fuzzes.
Yeah, I actually have the Orange Amps fur coat.
Okay.
And just fixing. I had the La Machine from MXR as well, which is great. I just gave that to my nephew for Christmas, and which. Doggone it, boys! I just told him what he got for Christmas. I can't believe I did that. Right now, the newest one I'm looking at getting, I really, really wanted to get the Basic Audio K fuzz, but they're very, very rare and hard to find. So I've just found that Pigtronics makes one called the Octava.
Okay.
Or Octava, I guess, however you want to say that.
Sure.
So that's going to be Johnny's next purchase for a pedal.
Very cool.
Interesting.
So there's a question for you here, Johnny. Our friend Quentin James wants to know: do you use your left leg or your left foot or your right foot to control pedals? He always uses his left foot.
Good eye, Dave. That's right, brother. I'm actually a southpaw. I'm left-handed. So, yes, I tend to use my left foot on my pedal board.
Same here.
So does Quentin.
I use my left foot.
Yeah. Unless I'm running across stage and I got to get back quick, I may try to grab one with my right foot. But to be honest, I can't see out of my right eye very well. And if I try it with my right foot, I usually miss.
Understandable. Yep. So does Quentin, by the way. He uses his left foot.
Nice.
I will use my wah with my right foot, though.
Me as well.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's on that side of the pedal board. That's why.
Well, but Ben, I'll be honest, brother. I had to take my wah pedal off of my board and set it to the side because if I used my right foot, I may kick on another pedal by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite wah is the Dunlop CAE wah, Custom Audio Electronics wah. And
love that wah. Love that.
I do too, brother. It's awesome, and I just set it down to the side.
Nice. And you use your left foot on that or your right foot?
Right. But that's why I had to take it off the board, Dave, because sometimes if I used my right foot, brother, I'd kick the wrong pedal by accident.
Yes, that I get that. Totally understand. Yeah. Very cool. Well, Johnny, listen, it's 9:37. Do you want to go?
Brother, we blew through this, man.
Do you want to go a couple more minutes or do you want to call it quits?
If we have more questions in the chat, Dave, I'd love to, brother. It's up to you, boys.
Okay, well let's check for questions. If anyone has any final questions for Johnny,
stick them in now.
Also, Johnny, do we have some sort of question to give the chat so we can give them so we can get a winner on your CDs, your autographed CDs?
Ooh, I might leave that one up to you, Dave.
Okay.
I got it.
Go ahead.
What song did Johnny Highland use Steve Vai's amplifier on?
Oh,
It was discussed earlier in the show. I hope you're paying attention. Let's see.
Now,
the question is rolling around.
Before anyone answers this, the first person that I see on the chat get it right wins, because there might be someone and I may miss it, but the first person that I see, is it Run With It?
That's it.
That's
John
it,
Harden.
John Harden. My God, he wins a lot of stuff, that John Harden. He has won a guitar from us.
Nice.
Yes, he has won a guitar in the past from us.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, John Harden,
Reach out to Dave.
reach out to me. Give me your address again, and we'll make sure that Johnny autographs his gospel CD and the Christmas CD, and we will get them out to you. Okay.
And you know what, Ben? We need one more question, brother. And you know why? It's the Christmas season, and I'm feeling generous. So the next question, the winner will win the Johnny Highland mag slide.
Ooh, and those are sweet.
Yes.
I discovered mag slides at Summer NAMM 2019.
It's actually made out of magnesium. It has my name on it. This slide is the best slide I've ever played in my life. I love this thing. So you can actually go to playmagslide.com and order one of these for yourself, but you have a chance to win one right now.
Yes.
Well, wait a second. Ben, is that Johnny? Is that a Johnny slide, or is that a regular
This
mag?
is another mag slide. Yeah, I found out they had a booth. Summer NAMM 2019, Johnny.
Yes.
And yeah, I wasn't the only one. They were nice enough. They gave me one, and they gave me one to give away at that time on my channel. And it was interesting because, again, I mentioned a little while ago, RJ Ronquillo, who's a heck of a slide player himself.
Yes.
He knew I played a bit of slide. He goes, Ben, come over here. Check this out. All right. And I wasn't driving to and from the event, so I had just enough liquid courage to actually pick up guitar and play slide in front of RJ. And
No.
yeah, so I had to pick one up. These things are awesome, folks. It looks beefy, but because magnesium is such a light metal, it's lighter than glass.
It is. And Ben, let me ask you, brother, do you have the third finger slide or the pinky slide?
It fits on both. I usually go with pinky.
Well, this Johnny Highland slide right here I have in my hand. I'm a pinky player as well. But this Johnny slide is a pinky slide, and it does have my name on it. So
Beautiful.
So I will let Mr. Tom Carter from Mag Slide know whoever wins tonight, and we will get you a slide shipped out to you.
So my beautiful wife is going to ask the question, because she said she has the perfect question for this to be answered.
Okay.
And the first person that I see, again, with the answer will get the slide.
And Keith Campbell says, has anyone played a mag slide on a Wolfgang? Well, I just did.
There you go, brother.
Quentin James says, playing live, does Johnny prefer in-ears or real amps pushing air?
I'm sorry, ask that again, Dave.
When playing live, do you prefer in-ears or real amps pushing air?
I like real amplifiers and real monitors in front of me to hear my vocals back.
Yes.
I'm not a big in-ear guy just yet, and the reason I say that is because I do not like. I want to hear my amp at all times when I'm on stage, and when you have in-ears in, you're not really hearing your actual amp tone the way the audience hears it or the way it is on stage.
Right.
I agree.
All right. Well, the question was, which guitar, and I'm going to paraphrase it because Desiree, pretty much all the guitars are given to Johnny from Kiesel. He's an endorsed artist. But which guitar was given to him for his birthday by Kiesel?
Nice. Excuse me.
Magic Man says the Silver Sparkle solo.
That's it.
There it is.
Well, actually, it's the Silver Sparkle Johnny Highland JH6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
That's Silver Sparkle, Dave, so I think we need to give it to him, brother.
Yeah, we'll give it to him. Silver Sparkle. Okay, so there it is. So Magic Man, please get to me, and I will. I'll get your address, and I'll send it off to Johnny. Or you know what? Better yet, instead of doing a third party, send your name and address to Johnny at Johnny Highland.
Actually, send it to Hiland, HILAND 007 at Comcast.net.
There it is. Highland 007
at Comcast.net.
Comcast.
You want to try that again, Dave?
For you to say.
Comcast.net. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Comcast.net. Comcast.net. Yeah.
Yep.
First day with my new mouth. I'm sorry.
It's all good, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
I have one quick question before we wrap things up. I saw this Keeley sweet spot on your board. Tell me a little bit about that sweet spot.
Okay, so the Sweet Spot Super Drive, which I'm going to grab right now for you, Ben.
Because you can.
Why? Because I can. The Sweet Spot Super Drive is a Johnny Highland pedal designed by Robert Keeley and myself. And essentially, this was designed for guys who love T-style guitars, Telecasters. So it is a very simple platform. You got level, tone, and gain. But then there's a little switch right here, and when the switch is to the left, it's a very light overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you switch it to the right, it'll take your gain stage from all the way up in the first stage, and then add gain stage to that, so you can go through the gain knob a second time.
I dig it.
So for you tele players that want a great overdrive pedal, now this is a limited edition. I don't know if you can find one on eBay or Reverb or not, but I assure you, this is a pedal that I will not live without, not just because my name is on the bottom of it, but truly because this pedal sounds phenomenal. There is, and just a little hint for a future Facebook trivia question as well, there will be a song on Chatham Sessions Volume 2 called The Sweet Spot Boogie that was written specifically for this pedal that you can actually see part of when you watch the Sweet Spot video from Keeley Electronics on YouTube.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to release that song because I'm so proud of it, and this pedal sings in that song. So there you have it.
Awesome. I'm going to have to check that out.
So, Johnny, I'm sure I'm gonna know the answer to this question, but we really didn't get to everything that we wanted to talk about tonight. There's a whole much more that we'd like to talk about with you. Would you be interested in doing a part 2 at some point when you're available?
Anytime you want, brother. I would love to do it, and I'm just so grateful that you guys have this platform available, and I so thank you for having me on tonight, man. I think the only thing we really didn't talk about, Dave, was microphones, man, and I use Sennheisers. I got a 906 on my amp, and I sing through a 935, man. So, yeah, I have to give the boys at Sennheiser a great shout-out as well. And
I also wanted to talk a bit about your record,
right.
and maybe stuff that you got coming up. But is there anything that you have coming up that you can talk about?
Well, I'll just give folks a little insight on something coming that is, I think, now being advertised for. I'm not quite sure, but I have been down to St. Petersburg, Florida, and shot 2 brand new TrueFire courses. So be looking for them coming out on TrueFire.com very soon. Nice. So I'm really excited about that. I love to teach. And for anybody who's watching that wants a private lesson with me, again, Hiland, HILAND 007 at Comcast.net. I would love to teach you and help you any way that I can. And just know how much I appreciate y'all's support. I love each and every one of you watching. And of course, Dave and Ben are brothers. I love them both, and so I appreciate everything, guys. I really do.
Well, we love you too, Johnny. It's really a pleasure. It's not only a pleasure talking to you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be your friend.
Tonight was
thank you.
everything I hoped for and more.
Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate that, brother. And like I said, I appreciate the time, boys, and you guys letting me show my girlfriends off. I tell people I had to marry Miss Kimmy because all my guitars are my girlfriend's.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
I
I agree
understand.
on that.
Girlfriend's off tonight, my Kiesels, and I love that. And of course, I do want to take this opportunity and thank Jeff Kiesel and all the Kiesel family again for allowing me to be a part. It's an amazing family, and anybody watching who buys a Kiesel guitar, you do become part of the family.
That's true.
So that's true.
Awesome. That is awesome. Very cool. Well, we are going to end it there.
Mhm.
And I want to thank everyone in the chat for participating. I want to thank Johnny HILAND for coming on and gracing us with everything he's got. It's very cool.
My pleasure, brother.
Johnny has tonight has shown me a guitar that I definitely have to have in my arsenal. I didn't think I'd ever want to buy a Kiesel guitar. Not saying anything negative about the company. I'm a Fender and Gibson guy. I really am. But my goodness.
Mhm.
Hey, Dave, just remember, brother, KieselGuitars.com or call 858-GUITARS. That's how you get
Well, you and I will make that phone call together. So
Anytime,
yes,
buddy.
it's going to happen. And I want that Aries guitar that you have, that Tiger Eye one with oh my God, the double perf. Oh my goodness.
She's a sweetheart, brother.
That's
Mhm.
just crazy good. I want to thank my lovely wife, Desiree NESDALL, for moderating tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Every week, she's a trooper.
Des, you rock, girl.
Yes, and I want to also thank Terry 3Gs and Music Therapy Labs for being our moderators as well. Ben, couldn't ask for a better co-host.
Ben, you rock, brother.
Thank you very much.
Amazing working with you. And we will see you next Thursday, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great
Please
week.
like and
Happy
subscribe,
holidays,
folks.
brother.
Yes, happy holidays.
Yes. Johnny, stick around for a minute and we'll talk after we get off. And we'll see you next week.